This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Market Report and Small Account Update for the week ending May 18th, 2024. The market finished higher this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average increased 0.34% on Friday and was up 1.24% for the week. The S&P 500 increased 0.12% on Friday and was up 1.54% for the week. The Nasdaq decreased minus 0.07% on Friday, but was up 2.11% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 9 up finishes versus 6 down finishes for the major indexes. On Monday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 finished down, while the Nasdaq finished up. On Tuesday and Wednesday, all the major indexes finished up. On Thursday, they all finished down. And on Friday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 finished up, while the Nasdaq finished down. How did you do? My small account finished 7.08% higher and generated cash flow of 2.02%. Even when the market falls and or my account doesn't do well, I still get income or cash flow by selling covered calls and naked puts. This method does not only guarantee cash flow or income, it can also beat the S&P 500. I don't use charts, I don't use fundamental analysis, I don't use indicators or signals, and I definitely don't sit in front of a computer screen all day to watch the market. Just can't do it. I simply choose a stock from my watch list to sell covered calls and or naked puts. I do have 5 criteria for choosing stocks to put on my trading watch list. I will not reveal what my criteria are, but if you examine my list, you may be able to figure out the criteria for yourself. The last row is my benchmark row. That is, I measure my performance against gold, silver, and the S&P 500. I choose the stock option based on whether I own the stock or I would like to own the stock. I choose a strike price, an expiration date, a bid, and I submit a limit order. Then I wait for execution. If the sale does not execute, I may change my order or wait until the next day to submit a new order. Looking at my watch list from the week, the strongest performer on the list was Novavax Incorporated, ticker symbol NVAX. It's in the first column. Though it was down minus 9.65% on Friday, it increased 46.51% for the week. Novavax Incorporated is a biotechnology company that discovers, develops, and commercializes vaccines to protect against serious infectious diseases. The company offers a vaccine platform that uses a recombinant protein approach to vaccine development. It also uses nanoparticle technology, and it has a patented matrix M adjuvant to enhance the immune response in patients. Novavax commercialized a COVID-19 vaccine, and it did skyrocket based on the fact that a French drug company and vaccine giant Sanofi stated that they would invest $1.2 billion to take a minority stake of Novavax. Looking at a summary of results, you can see that Novavax has increased just over 171% year to date. I have generated cash flow from Novavax in the past, but this week I generated cash flow from selling 4 different option contracts, 3 calls, and 1 put. That ranged from $10.34 to $27.34. So on Tuesday, I sold 2 calls, one for $27.34 and one for $15.34. And I also sold a put for $20.34. And then on Friday, I sold a call for $10.34. I also received interest of 32 cents. That is a total of $73.68, which is not a lot of money, but the account is small. $73.68, and cash flow was 2.02% of my account value. With this system, the cash flow money that you receive is clear and free. You can take it out of your account and spend it or leave it in to build your cash balance and or invest it. If you want to increase the amount of cash flow, just use a larger account. So, for example, to 10x the cash flow from to $736.80, use a larger account value, and instead of selling one of everything that I sold, sell 10. This strategy is guaranteed to produce cash flow immediately in every week that it is applied. However, it does not guarantee the amount of cash flow from week to week, nor the value of your account. The amount varies and the account value varies. Despite the variations in amount and value, the goal is to generate cash flow and beat the S&P 500. And that is what I am openly showing you every week as it happens. Note, most professional money managers and their strategies do not consistently beat the S&P 500 every year. They usually lose, and they usually lose by a lot. Last year, this method beat the S&P 500 by almost 12%. But in 2024, my account is down, minus 18.13% versus 11.39% up for SPY, which is an S&P 500 ETF. That's a difference of 29.52%. So I am losing to the S&P 500 by almost 30%. It is not unusual to beat the S&P 500 one year and then lose to the index the next year. Just like many professional money managers, does it look like I am going to lose? I am still trailing S&P by a lot, but the year is not over. I am confident that I will keep gaining on the S&P 500. Tune in next week to find out what happens. Bitcoin Watch. Bitcoin gained 10.26% this past week and is in a bull market as it is trading near all-time highs. It is up 59.4% year to date. Some people believe, and I am one of them, that Bitcoin is the most transformative financial asset in 1,000 years. I think the best course of action is to dollar cost average, that is DCA, into the S&P 500 and DCA into Bitcoin at a 30 to 70% ratio for the next 10 years and or up to when you have invested at least $10,000. I may start such a strategy soon. What do you think? What is your strategy? Do you know how to produce cash flow every week and beat the S&P 500? Do you invest in Bitcoin, which may prove to be the smartest investment of the decade? As you develop, analyze, and implement your strategy, please check back to see how my small account performs against the S&P 500 from week to week by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.